and said, "Man, I wish I was a monster." I took the mask off and looked at him sideways. "What do you mean by that?" He shrugged. "It would be better than just being the weirdest kid at school," he said. "I'd still be an outcast of society, but at least I have cool powers." "You're not the weirdest kid in school, Scoot." Scooter brushed it off and went back sorting through the pile of stuff on his work desk. He didn't like talking too much about anything serious. "Anyway, if I was a monster, I think I'd be a werewolf." "What about you?" "I don't know," I said with a shrug. "I don't think I want to be any kind of monster." "No fun," Scooter said, then squinted his eyes at me for a long moment before saying, "Creature from the Black Lagoon." I mean, the resemblance is already uncanny. "Hardy har har," I said, socking him in the arm. I sometimes wonder what Scooter would think if he knew the truth about me. Knowing how deep his monster obsession ran, he'd probably be over the moon. On the other hand, maybe the reality wouldn't be as fun as the fantasy. Would he love me, or would he be afraid? That was a question I wasn't prepared to answer. I picked up the werewolf mask and slipped it back over my head. Yeah, it was hot and stuffy inside the werewolf head, but it didn't bother me too much. After all, I was pretty used to wearing a mask. 0. When I got home that afternoon, I tried to avoid Dad. Like most Sundays, he was off, but I was hoping he'd be in his study, catching up on paperwork. Unfortunately, that wasn't the way the day was going to go. I stepped into the kitchen to grab a snack, and almost jumped when I heard his voice behind me. "Hey, Sam," he said. "You've been out a while." Yeah," I said, getting bread and lunch meat out of the fridge. "Just hanging out with Scooter." I quickly made my sandwich, hoping he'd go back to whatever he was doing. "Sam, about yesterday," he started to say. I flinched. "It was nothing," I said, waving him off. "I was just tired, that's all." He sighed. "You and I both know that isn't true," he said. "We need to talk about this, Sam." "No, we don't." "Sam, I just meant it's not important. Talking won't change anything." He walked over to me, leaning up against the counter as I spread mustard over my bread, and tried to ignore him. "I know it must be hard for you," he said, his voice gentle. "I don't know exactly how it feels, but I can imagine it isn't easy. Growing up is hard enough without feeling like you're different." "Being a freak, you mean?" I said, my tone harsher than I'd meant it. "I never want to hear you call yourself that," he said, sharply enough that I flinched a little. "You know you're not only insulting yourself, you're insulting all the people we care for as well. You see monsters all the time, Sam. Would you call them